future might be able to create ion engines with sufficiently high thrust to just push over there.
The problem is that the orbits, it's 6 months to get there, and then a year to hang around, and 6 months or 9 months back. It's the hanging around the year in an environment which is inimicable to any kind of life. No one has yet detected any form of carbon on the surface of Mars, no mind life. The ultraviolet radiation, the X-ray radiation, the particle flux scrubs the surface.
So if you had a really powerful ion engine and you could just push over there in a couple of weeks?
Well, ion engines, unfortunately, we have an ion engine going to Mercury on Bepi Colombo. It takes us 6 years to get there.
Right. So you can't imagine actually, because obviously they've got the jet exhaust speed, haven't they? What you need is to get a lot more.
What you need is a step change in rocketry, because all the forms of propulsion we can imagine are, except the nuclear ones, where you throw a bomb at back and explode. That's the only one that is not presently at a very high level of technical realization. Chemical rockets are there, and they're not going to go any further.
Yes, it would be a step change. You're thinking more in terms of fusion plasma rather than a mass
I'm thinking in terms of like plasma and that sort of line blasting out the back end.
Yeah.
Well,
it has to be something of that order, but no one's got a program on that going. Antimatter is the great favourite, until you work out how long it has taken to generate all the antimatter that humanity has ever generated, which is about a femtogram or something, tiny little. So it takes more than the lifetime of the universe to get you up with fuel before you can get anywhere. So it's a bit, you have to wait about it.
I think I've spotted a few hands shooting up and then going down towards the back. Yes, the questions have obviously already been answered. Over here.
I've got a question. You mentioned before that, Professor, you were quite happy to sort of go places by proxy. Now, we know that Spirit and Opportunity lasted a bit longer than people expected. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's an opportunity in the future that perhaps we'll get to other planets more or less for very long periods of time by sending simply more robust robots instead of trying to go there by ourselves?
Yeah, we have one of the largest instrument building programs in Europe for the robotic pros. We have 3 experiments in European ExoMars, which is going back to Mars in 2018. We have an experiment going to Mercury in 2014. And it's likely that if the next Jupiter missions are approved in Europe, we'll have 2 experiments on that as well. We can go pretty much anywhere in the solar system, including to places that no human is ever likely to go, like the surface of Europa, in orbit around Enceladus, into the radiation fields of Jupiter, and to the surface maybe of Maya. These are places that no human is ever going to go and survive until return.
And could these robots sort of, in the future, be much more robust and sort of stay
there? The big problem at the moment is the radiation hardness. If you go into the Jovian system, where Ganymede and Europa are prime targets for detecting life in subsurface oceans, you need much harder radiation-tolerant chips than we have at the moment. That's the development that's key.
We've nearly come to the end of the evening. We might have time for one more question if any hands shoot up. One at the back there.
Most of the questions have been from the scientist rather than the science fiction writer. So I'd just like to ask, who is your favourite science fiction author?
Who's my favourite? Oh dear. Yes. Who's my favourite? My favourite this year is Ian MacDonald's The Dervish House. If you'd asked me in the 80s, I'd have said Julian May's Simon of the Exiles. If you'd asked me in the 70s, I'd have said Larry Niven. If you'd asked me very early 70s, I'd have said John Christopher with his tripods series. Ooh, what a lot of nodding heads I got there. So it's quite familiar. So yes, I'm afraid I'm fairly fickle, and I came up the classic through Asimov, Heinlein, Bradbury, Clarke. So a few influences there.
One more question.
I enjoy most books, but I get bogged down when you keep on about screws and all the technical bits of your spacesuits. I'd much rather you put them in an appendix so that anybody who's interested
Can I recommend you never read anything I've
It's a balance. I get a lot of people going, oh, I wish they weren't so long, I got so much details, and then I get other people going, don't ever write short novels, we love the details. I balance it as best I can. Really, I do. I skip those bits out.
Can they be printed in like a highlighted ink?
Yes. The non-technical editions. Sorry.
Okay, well I think we've held on to our special guests for an hour already tonight, so if we could give them a quick round of applause.